Bristol Community College, Mathematics with Dan Avedikian, Math 132, Calculus with Applications, Section 12.3, Problem 3. This is Section 12.3, Problem number 3. It says find the derivative of f of x equals, in parentheses, x to the third plus 6x squared minus 14x plus 5, all raised to the 7th power. So to do a problem like this, we need to use the chain rule. So the chain rule says if your function is some stuff in parentheses raised to a power, then the derivative, f prime of x, is the n for the power comes down in front of the parentheses. The stuff stays the way it is. You reduce the power by 1, so this n becomes an n minus 1. And then you multiply times stuff prime, the derivative of the stuff. So that's the formula we're going to fill in. Now, for this problem, f prime of x, the first thing we start with is the n, which in this case is 7. So that 7 is going to be the first thing I write. I'm going to put some parentheses. And inside the parentheses is going to go the stuff from the problem, x cubed plus 6x squared minus 14x plus 5. So I put that in the parentheses. X to the third plus 6x to the second minus 14x to the first plus 5. Close the parentheses. Now the parentheses get an exponent, and it's n minus 1. So the n was 7, so n minus 1 will be 6. And then I multiply times stuff prime, the derivative of the stuff. So I can go through it one part at a time and do the derivative. The first piece I have to work with is the x to the third. Its derivative is 3x to the second. Now the reason why is the exponent of 3 comes down times the number in front, which isn't written, but it's really understood to be 1. So 3 times 1 gives me my 3. X to the 1 less power, that third power drops to a second power. The next piece I take the derivative of is 6x squared. Its derivative is 12x to the first. And again, why? Because the exponent of 2 comes down times the number in front of 6. 2 times 6 is 12. X to the 1 less power, so the second power drops down to a first power. The next piece is negative 14x. Now again, I have an x to the first power that I'm doing the derivative of. The derivative is the number in front, the minus 14, including the minus. You can't just let that disappear, so minus 14. And then the last piece that I have to do the derivative for is 5. 5 has no x, so its derivative is 0. So I can just let it go away. And I'll close the parentheses. And now my final answer is f prime of x equals 7 times in parentheses x to the third plus 6x squared minus 14x plus 5, close the parentheses to the 6th power, times, then more parentheses, 3x squared plus 12x minus 14, close the parentheses.